My name is Mano Manian. I'm a Malaysian actor. I've known Ramli Ibrahim for close to 40 years and have been with him since the establishment of Sutra and have done programs with him in India and other parts of the world. And all this to the benefit and the continuation of an involvement and transformation and an enrichment of the lives of the people of both Malaysia and India. I welcome you to this special program commemorating 75 years of India independence. The program is themed on India-Malaysia Cultural Link, a perspective of Sutra Foundation based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The program specifically highlights the shared values and creative legacies of both the performing and visual artists of Malaysia and India, an abiding concern of Sutra Foundation. Sutra Foundation, founded by Dato' Ramli Ibrahim, charted its beginning more than 3.5 decades ago. This program is jointly organized by the High Commission of India and the Malaysia-India Heritage Group with the cooperation and collaboration of Sutra Foundation. Besides being the chairman of Sutra Foundation, Ramli Ibrahim, an awardee of the Padma Shri and Sangeeta Natak Academy Award from the Government of India, is a member of the Malaysia-India Heritage Group, which celebrates Malaysia-India common links in cultural history and heritage. Ramli, in fact, embodies the very universal cultural values we share between Malaysia and India. Sutra's continuing creative legacy gives meaning to the very name of Malaysia-India heritage.
Hi, I'm Ramli Ibrahim. I'm founder, chairman of Sutra Foundation. Fundamentally, I am a dancer. I, of course, was exposed to Malay traditional dances, but I was trained in Western classical ballet and modern dance, and I work with a ballet company as a professional dancer in Australia. But I also specialize in two Indian classical dance styles that are Bharatanatyam and Odissi. And Sutra House, Sutra Foundation has become this wonderful creative center where many artists from Malaysia and India come together to share their art form.
Subsequent to getting his engineering degree, Ramli was given a scholarship to the Australian Ballet School, the most prestigious dance school in Australia. Upon graduating from the Australian Ballet School, he was invited to join the Sydney Dance Company, Australia's famous and exciting neoclassical and contemporary dance company. Simultaneously too, he studied and deepened his knowledge of Bharatanatyam under Padma Shri Adiyar K. Lakshman, who visited Australia. Later, he went on to develop his expertise on another Indian classical dance style, Odissi, with the pioneer Odissi guru, the late Debaprasad Das. Ramli returned to Malaysia in 1983 and made his debut and impact on Malaysia in his first 2.5-hour solo performance, featuring both Bharatanatyam and Odissi. The effect on the Malaysian audience was electric, and Ramli has never looked back since.
Sutra has catalyzed the transplantation of Odissi in the soil of Malaysia. Sutra's Odyssey of Odissi actually spanned many countries, which included Australia and the United States, besides India and of course Malaysia. Upon my return to Malaysia from Australia in 1983, after a full house premiere performance in Kuala Lumpur, I embarked upon several national tours of major cities of Malaysia. Thereafter, I established Sutra Dance Theatre and apart from solo performances, subsequently developed a comprehensive and progressive teaching methodology of Bharatanatyam and Odissi. Sutra soon groomed a generation of Malaysia-trained, multiracial Indian classical dancers. Before long, I was able to perform together with my own dancers, which doubled impact. Sutra's Malay, Indian, Chinese dancers, but all Malaysians, became household names and thereafter were projected to the international stage and their triumph duly recognized. Sutra House, situated in the heart of Kuala Lumpur, became a hive of creativity and experiment.
Established more than 3 decades ago, let me quote, "Sutra, through the imaginative flourish and sustained foresight of its founder Ramli Ibrahim, has successfully transformed a piece of geography in Kuala Lumpur into a venerated cultural space." So says the late Dr. Dinanath Padi of Odisha. Dinanath continues, "Sutra is the principle of artistic balance and harmony, of grace and charm, of continuity and change, linking the traditional and contemporary in the performing arts. As a cultural institution, Sutra espouses an integrated vision to transfuse the arts of various strands and colors, threading them into a total interrelated experience of liberation and fulfillment. And admiration of love of Odissi have remained one of Sutra's avowed concerns." Dr. Dinanath continues, "Ramli is trained to work in a traditional Odissi format, but his modern artistic vision bestows in his handling of his teaching and performance approach a contemporary visage of Odissi which appeals to international audiences."
When I performed in New York City with the Sydney Dance Company in 1979, I was lucky to meet pioneer Odissi danseuse, the late Indrani Rahman, who advised me to go to Guru Deva Prasad Das to deepen my knowledge of Odissi. Upon Debuji's early demise in 1986, I continued with Deva Prasad's star disciple, Gajendra Panda, whom I later cultivated a strong, continuing bond and collaboration. For over 3 decades, Sutra commissioned many new original works with Gajendra and premiered them back in Odisha to great success. It was akin to bringing curry to Madras. Sutra Foundation's extensive national and international performances further promoted the Deva Prasad's parampara, which was previously not that well known. The success of these performances helped make this less visible Odissi school known outside Odisha. I was fortunate to continue further my insight into Odissi upon establishing connection with the late Dr. Dinanath Pati, a scholar, visual artist educationist who had a comprehensive knowledge of the evolution of the contemporary Odissi as a reconstructed Indian classical dance system. Odisha hailed Dr. Dinanath Pati as a Renaissance man, and his influence on Odisha's artistic and educational landscape was considerable. Sutra's grasp on Odissi further expanded as Sutra continued to foster ties with other talented gurus and choreographers of Odissi throughout India. Dancers and dance gurus were invited to perform at Sutra as the institution collaborated and commissioned many new works and organized performances, which in turn further enriched the Malaysia-India dance cultural exchanges and link.
For millennia, the Indian Ocean has been the site of churning and cross-fertilization of many cultures. The Malay archipelago was the international entrepôt of East and West. The monsoon seasons brought traders from India, West Asia and the West, bartering their wares with those from China. They interacted with the indigenous cultures, resulting in a melange mix of cultural practices, traditions, and trades, enriching further all those impacted. Being one of the world's greatest and oldest civilizations, the Indian subcontinent had influenced many facets of life of the people of Southeast Asia. It impacted the socio-economic and political life of the indigenous populations, influencing religions, languages, royal customs, cuisines in all aspects of life in Southeast Asia. The indigenous people in turn assimilated, selected, digested, and transformed the cultural influences, changing them thus in turn, reinterpreting and revitalizing these influences into whatever suited them and making them into something else of their own.
In the contemporary scenario, the same exchanges are happening. In actual fact, these organic cultural exchanges were not just one-way traffic. The churn must not be perceived as one-way flow of a great mighty river of influence from India or China for that matter, but can be envisioned as a two-way ebb and flow of rich veins of tributaries eventually mixing in the rich alluvial soils of the archipelago. During those monsoon interfaces, the ports of call of the archipelago, with its rich exotic spice trade, themselves became cauldron of cultural melange, where the transmogrification of practices engendered unique dynamics of new and enriched cultural manifestations. This is also the case with the highly charged creative exchanges and cross-fertilization at Sutra House with artists of India and Malaysia.
The other face of Odissi in Sutra is its transfiguration within the context of the visual arts of painting, sculpture, and photography. Ramli has a highly cultured eye and sensitivity for details, enabling Sutra, especially through Sivaraja Natarajan, a visual artist and Sutra trustee, to integrate its stage design with lighting and visual art. Especially through the visual art, Sutra has brought together many painters and photographers from India and Malaysia to celebrate their shared love for dance.
I'm Sivaraja Natarajan, a painter. I design production for Sutra Foundation as a lighting and set designer. At the same time, I'm also a trustee of Sutra Foundation. I travel with Sutra for their international tour. We work with a lot of artists and theatre practitioners from India. My involvement with the Sutra as a dance painter. So I was painting dance for the past 30 years, and then I incorporate my dance movements and also my painting experience into my theatre designs. This is where I bring in the elements of colors and visuals to when I design the productions. And I also, same time, I curate exhibitions for Sutra Gallery. This is where I bring in a lot of artists and also work with artists from India, and also this is like in terms of sculpture, painting and installations. This is in a way like to enhance our cultural relation between India and Malaysia. Where the visual art is concerned, Sutra has brought together many painters and photographers from India and Malaysia to celebrate their shared love for dance. At Sutra Gallery, all the visual artists have shared space where they can study, draw, paint and explore contemporary paintings and photography inspired by dance, especially Odissi. Sutra dancers make unusual, compelling and pliable models. Sutra, over the last 3 decades, continued to hold many exhibitions during performance of dance, further fostering, sustaining and integrating the visual arts with Odissi. Many corporate walls and homes in Malaysia are now decorated with paintings, drawings and photographs inspired by Odissi. On my part, as far as the Malaysian theatre is concerned, I have pioneered the exploration of paintings and photography of Indian classical dance and took to its pinnacle the dynamic use of light and colors in my lighting designs.
The presence of Odissi and Sutra is testament to the liberating presence of the arts in Malaysia. It is an affirmation and reflection of a healthy and liberal vision of a nation navigating, absorbing, participating and embracing in wonderment the evolution of a dynamic and unique multicultural world.
So it was providence and God willing that I met Ramli in the gallery which I was connected with in Chennai. So his dance form and my art expression immediately connected, and when I visited Malaysia after that, I spent a lot of time in Sutra Dance Theatre sketching Ramli's dance forms and Ramli performing, and then also his students.
Greetings from India. My name is Lalit Verma and I run this organization called the Orothan Art Gallery, which promotes art and culture across India and the globe. I've had the fortune of working with Datuk Ramli Ibrahim not only in India but in Europe and other parts of the world. Ramli Ibrahim is an ambassador for both the countries. The relationship between the two countries have grown positively because of his efforts. He has danced across the country from east and west and north and south. He has danced in Tanjore, one of the most important temples of India. He has danced on the beaches of Pondicherry, and he has danced in great theatres the country has to offer. I remember an incident when he performed for a Sikh governor in Chennai. Being himself a Muslim, he performed an Indian dance for a Christmas party. One of the performances in Delhi at the Kamani Auditorium, after the performance, my aunt came up to him and told him, "Ramli ji, thank you so much for opening the eyes to my own culture. I never realized my own culture is so beautiful." I wish that the relationship between the two countries will not only grow but progress from peak to peak with treasures like these who can bring the cultures together, and through the culture have the growth of industry, literature and other forms of life.
Sutra has been described as Malaysia's cultural ambassador, enthralling audiences of more than 150 cities around the world, 45 of which are in India. Sutra Foundation pays homage to 3 women gurus and makers of Odissi. In Triple Frontiers, 3 different points of views in composition are explored.
We come across a huge body of work created by women artists, Odissi dancers, gurus and dance makers. And in continuation with this dedication and celebration of womanhood, it is truly enriching and humbling to learn about this unique initiative of Sutra Foundation under the leadership of Datuk Ramli Ibrahim ji. I'm really pleased and honored to learn about the showcasing of Triple Frontiers, in which Sutra dancers will be presenting Odissi dance creations by women dance makers.
Being a girl child, I was not that free. That freedom was not given to all the girl child to come out of the house and perform before the audience. Now we understand that Odissi dance can be a career for a woman. I mean to say, bread and butter can be earned through dancing career as well.
At the same time, Sutra Foundation has received maximum support from ICCR in many endeavors, both in India and in Malaysia. It has been able to perform in the great theatres of the world, including Carnegie Hall, the Kennedy Center of Performing Arts, Asia Society New York, Sydney Opera House, the Esplanade Singapore, in all the major theatres in India, from NCPA, Kamani, Music Academy, right to Istana Budaya of Malaysia. The most recent was Sutra's performance and participation at the Kumbh Mela in 2019 at Prayagraj.
The former High Commissioner of India to Malaysia, His Excellency Mr. V.K. Gokhale, in his speech at the inauguration of the Madras Canvas 2010 painting exhibition of 39 artists of Chennai, held at the India Cultural Centre, ICC, jointly presented by the ICC Forum Art Gallery, Chennai, and Sutra Gallery, discerningly commented on Sutra's unique role. Sutra is an ambassador of Malaysian culture when performing in India and represents Indian culture in Malaysia.
Mm-hmm.